the special counsel is trying to do here? I mean, clearly they're trying to build their case. They're adding more and more characters to it, if you will.
Well, Kana, the special counsel wants to lean on another person in Trump's inner circle, try to flip him. And the best way to do so is to charge him in an indictment, because it's very easy to say, hey, I'm not going to cooperate. I'm going to stay loyal to my boss. But when you're looking at years in federal prison, that's a very different consideration. And I can tell you, I put more than 1,000 people in federal prison. And when I push cases to trial, I can count on one hand the number of people who didn't cooperate. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on De Oliveira and Nada when push comes to shove to testify against Donald Trump and to say that he was the one who asked us to destroy evidence, because we all know innocent people don't do that.
And Neama, to you, I have a question for you. If you could highlight something for me. It does say that this exchange that we're talking about between De Oliveira and former President Donald Trump occurred after a subpoena for security footage had already been sent to Trump's attorney. That's what the indictment alleges. That word after, I think, a real sticking point. How significant is that?
Oh, very. And that's why it's the basis for both the obstruction charges and the charges with attempting or conspiring to delete grand jury evidence. And not only that, De Oliveira met with the FBI and denied moving the boxes. So, the fact that, all this happened after the voluntary request, after the grand jury subpoena, and it required a search warrant, unprecedented for FBI agents to raid Mar-A-Lago. That's the basis for the obstruction charges. And this is one of those cases where really the cover-up is worse than the crime, both in terms of the maximum potential sentence and the advisory sentence that will be imposed, likely if Trump is indeed convicted at a jury trial.
Right. Of course, the indictment says that he loaded several of Trump's boxes along with other items onto an aircraft that flew Trump and his family north for this summer. Olivia, Catherine, and Neama, our thanks to all of you for your expertise. We greatly appreciate it. President, right? Do you think there's a possibility for De Oliveira to flip here?
Oh, I think so. I mean, Trump is paying for his lawyer, and he's probably hoping his employee remains loyal to him. But I think, as we get closer to trial and Oliveira realizes he's looking at years in federal prison, he's going to strongly think about cooperating. And this is normal for the Department of Justice. They love this divide and conquer strategy. They like to flip lower level employees, work their way up to the head of the organization. It doesn't matter whether it's organized crime or a drug cartel or someone like former President Donald Trump. They like to get witnesses to flip, to rat, to snitch, whatever you want to call it, Kana, against the real target of their investigation. It's those obstruction charges, the two additional ones, because now we're hearing directly from the president, obviously through witnesses, and he's asking his employees to destroy evidence. And every state in this country, including the federal government, has a jury instruction that says, that is evidence of a guilty mind, that mens rea, that criminal intent. People who are innocent, they don't do that. So it's not necessarily the charges themselves, but the evidence in support of the charges. I think this is the most direct and damning evidence against Donald Trump.